What's going on, everybody? It's Joe here with Excursion Cuts. Today I'm going to be taking you guys on a tour of Truckee, California. So the Lake Tahoe area is absolutely huge. Obviously there's a ton of places you can photograph there, and there's far more than I can cover in a single video. But I thought I'd highlight Truckee in particular because it's often overlooked, especially if you're traveling here from out of state. There's a ton of stuff to see. Obviously the lake is the big draw. Truckee's about 20 minutes or so north of the lake. It's in the North Lake Tahoe area, right off Interstate 80, which runs east-west through the area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover some of the basic, quintessential photography sites here in the town, I should say. It's a cute little town. If I had to share one, invaluable piece of advice for photographing this area or checking out this area, it's this. Everything that's worth photographing and filming is right off of the same street, and that's Donner Pass Road. Donner Pass Road is a fairly windy street that goes throughout the town, but most of what you're going to want to shoot is probably going to be right off that road. Okay, everything else that is north or south of Donner Pass Road is mostly residential areas. So we're going to start our little journey heading down into the downtown area, and we're actually going to end up near a really cool bridge and that overlooks the lake, and also some really old coal mining tunnels that are kind of trippy to photograph, to be quite honest. Weather today that we're having is kind of gloomy, and I think it's actually going to lend itself well to those particular tunnels over there. So, all right, let's head to it. All right, guys, we're at our first stop here. This is the Donner State Memorial Park. And if you have never heard of Truckee before, you've more than likely heard about what it's famous for: cannibalism. Not really. But the idea is there was the pioneer travelers, the Donner Party, which I'm sure you've heard referenced in several movies like Patch Adams. They ended up getting trapped here in some crazy, hellish winter here, and slowly just died off one by one, just freezing to death. But there's a memorial here that's devoted to it. There's a little museum here. It's donation-based, so you want to go in and drop them $5. You can learn a little bit about what happened to them, and they've got some really cool stuff on display there. But what's nice about this is it's right next to Donner Lake, and there's a campground here, and you can actually hike through the campground and go over to the lake, and there's some definite awesome shots to be had over there. Parking, I believe, is donation-based, but I'm actually on Donner Pass Road right now. I turned around in the parking lot, I came out, just hung a right, and I pulled over here onto the side of the road where there are other cars, and it's free to park here for sure. So you can actually walk in, go walk around the lake, take a look around. There is a really cool statue over here that they've, of the Donner family together. It's extremely high up in the air. It's got to be 30 feet tall, but it actually represents the height of the snow the year that they were stuck here. So it's kind of a trippy thing to see. But let's go have a look around. All right, so it kind of got rained out of there a little bit. So that would explain a little bit of inconsistency in the B-roll, as you guys can see. But awesome area. Like I said, you could definitely kill a couple of hours here just cruising around the lake, taking pictures, shooting video clips. What we're going to do next is we're going to head up to Rainbow Bridge, which is really awesome. It's on the west end of Truckee, and it's elevated up in the hills where you can actually look down on Donner Lake. Awesome place to shoot. We've also got some tunnels up there, which we're going to head to shortly thereafter. Let's check it out. All right, so that's Rainbow Bridge. From the top of the bridge, you can actually look over and you can see Donner Lake, which is a awesome view. Definitely worth coming up here for. Parking's ample and it's free. So we're over here on the west end of Truckee. This is definitely worth checking out on your trip. Again, Donner Pass Road. You just follow it all the way up onto the west. It'll land you in several different parking spots, all of which have hiking trails that you can go down and check things out. So that direction is east. So if you wanted to get the sun into the shot, you're kind of limited to sunrise here, but there's still some pretty good sunset shots to be had up here too, especially considering that it will light up Donner Lake earlier, at the very beginning of sunset. Okay, so the tunnels are basically right behind me right now. They are kind of old mining tunnels. They're huge. They're absolutely huge. You can go through them. They're beautiful to shoot. There's a lot of graffiti, artistic graffiti that's in there. They're really tall. You're just gonna have to bring a lot of lighting to get in there. I often take those little loom cubes and kind of light up my scene. All right, so I don't know if the weather's gonna let me get up there as of right now, up to the tunnels, but it's all right. I've been there before. I've got some footage and some still frames that I'll share with you guys, but check it out. It's a lot of fun. So if you Google Truckee, California, you will invariably get shots of downtown. And the downtown area is awesome. It's definitely worth visiting. You're gonna wanna park on the east side of town, south side of Donner Pass Road. There's free parking there, and it's the only place in downtown Truckee where you can get free parking. If you don't mind throwing in a couple bucks, the west end of Donner Pass Road has paid parking. But the town is awesome. It's got a lot of shops, bars, restaurants, you name it. It's even got a couple of really cool little hotels where you could stay. You've also got the Truckee River that runs through town. Now the Truckee River begins in Tahoe City, at Lake Tahoe, goes through Truckee, goes through Reno, and dumps into Pyramid Lake, which is about 30 minutes away from Reno. But the river access in Truckee is actually really cool. You've got a bridge that goes over it in the middle of the downtown area, so you can go over there and get some really good river shots as well. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Until next time, I'm Joe Baker with Excursion Cuts.